Everyone, welcome to the third session of our narrative writing module with Inked Ivy's Writing Fundamentals for Middle Schoolers. As always, I'm Kayla. I'm going to be your instructor today, and I'm super excited to get writing with you guys. While we are getting set up, go ahead and sign into Inked Ivy with your Gmail account and head on over to the narrative writing in the left-hand drop-down menu. It will bring you automatically to the last prompt that you worked on. So if that's not the one that we've been working on here, which is Portal of Discovery, go ahead and switch on over to the correct prompt. Okay, I want you to think about, before we start writing today, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, or the best lesson that you've learned? Maybe a coach shared it with you, or a family member, a friend, a teacher. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? That's going to be one of the ideas that we're going to be thinking about as we start writing today. You're going to open your Portal of Discovery prompt, and we're going to jump into our first short writing loop, so you can go ahead and get on into the story. So I'm going to have you take 4 minutes to reread your work that we have been putting together for the past 2 modules and keep adding to your writing. This is just a draft. This is just a little exercise to get your creative juices flowing. Remember, your work will auto-save for you, and at the end, you can hit that AI analysis button. Go ahead, on your mark, get set, go. 4 minutes to write. Welcome back. Alrighty. We're going to dive in today. I hope that first bit of writing felt good, and I hope that you have your baseline AI feedback for where you're working today. We're going to be focusing not on the who, not on the what, not even really on the where. We're going to dive into the why today, or the theme of our story. For the past few weeks, we've been working on a narrative essay and thinking about our task of telling a story to our readers. We've developed our main characters. Last week, we worked on our plots, or what is going on in the story, the conflict, the problem. And through all of those, we've also probably thought about our where, or the setting of our story. And that's totally fine. Today, we're going to think about something a little bit different. After we get through the plot, like we talked about last week, and really developing the events of our story, we need to think about what the end result is and why this story matters. Why did our character go on this journey or experience all of these things in each stage of this plot? How did they change from the beginning to the end of the story? We really need to think about what we're sharing, the impact that we're having on our reader. You might be familiar with theme from school as the universal sort of lesson or message of the story that our author is trying to share. Through reading this text, what do you want your reader to take away from it? What do you want them to learn? This is considered the why of our story. Why does this matter? Why are we writing and reading about this? Why is this important to us? Our theme is sort of, you can think of it as our message in a bottle to our reader. What is the secret little life lesson that we want to share with them as they go through the story along with us? What is the takeaway we want them to have by the end of the story? A lot of the times we think about this as naturally occurring in our writing process through how our characters change by their learning, what they learn throughout the course of the story, our plot and our conflicts and how they end. How do those resolutions come about that might teach us something? And what is that last impression that we as the author want to leave on our readers? We have all of the power as the writers here, so we want to use our writing abilities powerfully to be able to leave an impact on our readers. So we can do it in these couple of ways. As we go into our next writing loop for the next 8 minutes, I want you to think about a couple of these questions, maybe choose 1 or 2 to answer, to really think about that theme, that bigger picture, universal lesson or idea. For example, what lesson did your character learn throughout the plot or conflict of the story by the end? How does your character change over the course of the story? What drives that change? Do they need to learn something or be a different person to be successful? Are they forced to be a different person through hardship? Why does that change happen? How does your story relate to real world issues or experiences? Maybe this is drawn directly from something that you've experienced in your own life. If you found a portal of discovery somewhere and therefore learned something, let me know, because I would love to go on that adventure. But in all seriousness, how does this relate to some of your own experiences? What experiences in your life have been similar or have taught you lessons? What do you want your readers to remember and take away from your story? I think that blue box is the easiest way to get to the core theme of your story. What is it that you want your reader to learn? What is it that you want them to take away? Take a second right now, choose one of these boxes, red, yellow, green, blue, or purple, to lock in and to answer in the next writing loop. Got it? All right. You have 8 minutes to write. Focus on really developing your theme and answering that question and add to your existing writing. One more thing to think about before you get started. If you haven't finished your plot, it might be hard to really flesh out your theme. Usually by the end of the story or in the last bit is where the theme really shines through. And so be thinking about not only adding to what you already have and going back and revising what you already have, but adding things to the end of your writing to really finish out your storyline. That might be where the best place for you to put in your theme. Okay. At the end of those 8 minutes, go ahead and hit that AI analysis button and we'll see what progress you've made. You can go ahead and pause this video and I'll see you in 8 minutes. Ready, set, go. That 8 minutes went fast, but I hope you feel good about what you've done and the writing that you did today. Let's take a look at that feedback. If you haven't already, hit that AI analysis button. So did your theme exploration rating change? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we still need to get through something in our plot to really drive that. But overall, did you see any change or progress in your draft as a whole? That theme might need a little bit more time to build, and you absolutely can revisit this draft anytime and keep thinking about that lesson that you want to teach your readers and working it into your story, maybe again through your character or through how the plot ends, or maybe it's even in a conversation or dialogue that your character experiences throughout the story. Overall, as always, we're looking for progress over perfection. We're hoping that some of our ratings have changed throughout this writing session as we keep adding and building on these elements of our story. Next session, we're going to be really focusing on that last bit of feedback, which is the writing craftsmanship, which is going back and making sure our writing is strong, is clear, and is error-free. We'll also take that time to wrap up our plots if need be and see overall how our narrative feedback has changed from start to finish. So if you didn't get to almost perfects today, that's totally fine. There's always next session. And like I said, you are free to revisit this draft at any point in time and keep working. Feel very, very good. You've completed your third revision of a narrative draft. Sometimes this revision process can feel really long, but that's okay because each step that we're taking, we're making our writing stronger. I hope you have a win or you're something that you're excited about in your writing. As always, before the next class, choose 2 to 3 other narrative prompts and start drafting. After 2 to 3 AI reviews, feel free to send it to me for specific feedback or just for me to take a look at it. I'd be happy to take a look at your work. But feel good because we've really engaged our reader in our narrative in 3 different ways. We've created authentic characters, we've created engaging plots, and now we've added depth to our story by writing a lesson or a takeaway for our reader to remember after they're done with our story. Great work today, and I can't wait to see you in our next session. Have a wonderful day and happy writing. Bye-bye.